Hello, this is Lolly, and I am back with more information on a new project for my Halloween tags. So the first 5 of these I made using the kit that Susie West sold us at Let's Get Creative at Doodlebug headquarters in Salt Lake City. And the 6th one I made with a lot of the scraps that I had left over. But I thought about making these into a book with a hinge, but then I realized that I have my embellishments sticking out on both sides from several of these. So the only surface that is completely flat and could have a hinge on it would be the bottom. Except for this, I need to just trim that envelope off a teeny bit, and then all of these would work on a hinge. So what I need is a book that the pages flip this way. So what I did was I cut up some, it's a file folder. Well, it's going to take 2 pieces because even a regular file folder is not long enough. It's over 20 inches and they're not long enough. So you're going to need 2 parts, and then we're going to put them together like this. Okay, so what we have, this is 9 3/4, and then you're going to score it at 7 and 9 1/4. 7 and 9 1/4. Here's that, where that is. Here's the 2 scores. Now you will see that there's all these folds that were automatically on there from the file folder. It's okay, it's going to get covered up. Then we're going to glue this one on there. This one also gets scored at 7 and 9 1/4. Okay, and then this end is going to be a flap, which we can trim the ends off, and I think I'm going to do that right now. And I think this time I'm going to use the 1/2 inch one, and this is going to help to remind me that this is my flap here. So let's go ahead and get these burnished where they need to be, because with all these extra folds, it's going to help me to see what my project is going to look like. Okay, so here is how it's going to do. We're going to glue this to this. This is a base. The back, it's going to fold over and snap right there. So that's what it's going to look like. And all of the tags are going to be hinged right here. So let's glue this, and after that, what I'm going to do is mat all these, and it'll make it cuter, and it'll make it sturdier, and it'll cover up my hinge in the back. So this was 7, and this was 4. I forgot to tell you how wide it is. It's 4 inches. Sorry. So 4-inch wide strips. That's why I cut strips across my file folder, and then I cut 1 9 3/4 and 1 11 1/4. And it's the 9 3/4 one is, well, they're both scored at 7 and 9 1/4. Sorry about that, but I'll also make sure I give you those directions clearly. So if this is 4 by 7, what I want to do is trim off just a pinch and make it 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. And oh, the other thing you're going to need is hinges. Now these hinges, I have 6 of them, and they're all 1 by 3, and then I scored them at 3/8 of an inch in. Okay, so now back to this. We've got 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. We need 2 of those here and the back. The base is going to have all the hinges on it, so we're not going to see that, but on the outside you might want that. So if this is 2 1/4, so I'm going to cut this 2 by 3 3/4. Same thing with this, and then the flap will be 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. So let me get all those pieces cut up, front and back. So I've got all my papers cut, and I'm going to start gluing them in. And what I thought was I would use this on the outside. Okay. And then on the flap, I'm going to use this, which needs the corners rounded. Wait. Now that's the outside. Again, it's going to come like this. So I also want to do the inside, and I've cut papers up for that as well. Now I'm not doing this one because that's where all my hinges are going to go for securing the tags in here. However, I do want to make a snap closure for this, so I'm going to measure the middle of this. It's 4 inches wide, so right at 2. That's where I need to poke my hole. Okay, but I will work on that later. I'm trying to remember where I stuck my snap gizmo, my snap set, so I will look for that. In the meantime, we can work on these, which is getting these inside, or I could decorate this. I think it might be easier to do it while it's flat, so let's check into that. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to put, there's a fence here I really like. I really like this fence, and I'm going to use that. But because the sticker is 3D, I'm going to have to put the fence behind him instead of in front of him. Oh, I love it already. That is just so cute. Okay, I'm going to lay him there, so I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to put him. And thinking I might put this cauldron there as well, but it definitely needs to be popped up. And I'm going to put the baby powder around the sticker. And these little bubbles are like for the brew that's going on in here. And we've got to get him in here because he is just too cute. There we go. Alrighty. Now I like having, I've got to make sure that I don't like decorate under here where the snap is going to go. I like that this is a little seam going on here, but I'm wondering about putting something else on there, like some words. Ghouls Night Out. Oh my gosh, that is too fun. Let's do Ghouls Night Out. That was the first thing I saw, and I was like, that is really cute. This is cute, but as you can see, it's just too big. Spooktacular would be really cute. It would stick out a little bit, but it's a little broad. A Haunting We Will Go is cute. So many of these things are kind of a little on the narrow side, but I like that this brings some purple into the mix. So we've got these hinges, and remember I said that they were 1 by 3, and I scored them at 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to get these ready. Now, so there's a short side and a tall side. The tall side is what is going to go on the actual tag. I'm going to glue this onto here like this. And this is actually 3 1/8. This is only 3, so you just center it on there. I'm going to put that all the way down there and center it. All right, now this is going to get glued right up against here, centering again as I go. So that's the first one. This actually rubs up against the back, but I still had it so that it would flip. I want it to flip like the others. And now when I put this hinge down, it's going to go right up against the edge of this one. So I'm going to turn around so I can see what I'm doing. And as you go, you need to make sure that you're going to have room before this other fold to fit all these in. You may need to overlap the hinges just a tiny bit. So here's what it looks like now. All I need to do now is to put the snap on there. And I gave myself plenty of room here because of the thickness of the embellishments on here. You could make it a little narrower, like 2 inches instead of 2 1/4, but then you'd also need to make your hinges a little more narrow as well. So now I need to find my snap thing. Okay, found my gizmo. So I think I'm going to use black snap here. And what we're going to need is 4 pieces, 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom. So each one gets a rounded piece with the little pokey thing. And then we need to find 1 male, 1 female adapter. Okay, first to get that hole poked that I marked, I have some styrofoam here. Okay, and now I have it poked, but I also want to mark here where to poke on this one. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I think this doesn't reach in that far, so let's see if that's a problem. Yeah, it doesn't reach in that far, so I need to back that off a little bit before I poke that hole. I was not thinking about that. I need to bring the snap further up, and then also have to cover this up with something. So right about here, would that do it? What's the farthest this goes in is the question. Right there. About 1 inch from the top. So yeah, right about here. Okay. Okay, so if you want to put this through, grab an adapter. Oops. And this one comes through the back side. Good. Snap. That's what you want to hear. Okay. So now I need to figure out what to do with this because I poked a hole in here. Oh, look what just happened. Okay, all that glitter, it didn't want to stick. So let's add some glossy accents. Okay, and while that's drying, we've got to figure this out. Now, one of the things I'm thinking about one thing we could do that would be really cute, use the hole to tie something in it, and that's like this little ghost. That might be cute, folks. There's a ghost and there's a spider. They call these tokens, and I am really fond of them. I think I'm going to go with the spider. Let's punch this the rest of the way. That's too big, that's a heart. We don't want that one. Let's get a hole punch. Okay, there it is. Oh, this has been so fun. So, being my first one, I think maybe my next one, if I do this again, I would go to 2 inches instead of 2 1/4. It's kind of hard to judge until you actually make one. But with this, I didn't let that dry again. I'll fix this off camera. So with this, though, the nice thing is it would sit on a shelf as opposed to in a drawer somewhere, and I'll be able to look at it. They're so fun. Thank you for watching, and I will write the measurements again down below in the video description box.